I'm Andrea Soos from Andrea Soos Yoga Studio. Today we'll be exploring the 7 movements of the spine. And we know that we're only as old as our spine is, and by incorporating lengthening, rotation, side bending, flexion and extension, we're finding a healthy range of movement in all directions, finding space between the vertebrae, keeping our discs healthy and vibrant. The first pose that we'll do is called table. It involves being on your hands and knees. Your hands line up under your shoulders, and your knees come underneath your hip joints. And I'm finding what is called a neutral position in my spine here, which is a form of lengthening the spine. I'm keeping a little curve at the back of my waist, a curve at the back of my neck. And as I pause here, I'm making sure I haven't locked my elbows. And I'm breathing. So this is a lengthening place for the spine. From here I could move into head down cat pose, which is a forward bending or flexion of the spine, curling my tailbone under and letting this movement travel vertebra by vertebra along the spine, the low back, the mid back, the upper back moving. My head's falling. I still haven't locked the elbows at all, and there's width across the front of my chest. I could also move into extension of the spine, which is moving the spine in the opposite direction, lifting the tailbone up. And vertebra by vertebra, my spine's unfolding into this little back bend, all the way up between the shoulder blades into the neck. And as my head finds its place at the top of the spine, I'm being careful not to pull my chin forward and tighten my neck. Instead, I'm bringing my chin back a little bit and lengthening up into the base of the skull. So after a spinal extension, we could come back to this lengthened place in table pose and try a side bending movement. If I bring my right hand to where my left is and shift my left hand over to my left a little further and turn my head around at my feet, I'm bringing a little side bend to the right side of my body. And then coming back to center. And of course you could repeat this in the other direction, bringing a side bend to the left side of your body by turning to your right and looking at your feet. And then as I come back to this neutral position, I'll have my knees come a little bit wider with my feet pointing in. And as I bend at my hips, keeping my spine long, going backwards with my hips to my heels and having my arms come out a little forward. You might be comfortable to have your arms straight out and your forehead down. You might prefer to stack your hands on top of each other and rest your head there if there's any tightness in your shoulders. This is child's pose, where my spine can lengthen. And there's 2 more movements that the spine can perform, a rotation in each direction. From child's pose, if I bring my right hand under my left armpit and turn my spine, I'm resting on the right side of my head. Both of my elbows are resting down, so there's no tension in my shoulders, and I'm breathing. My hips have stayed back towards my heels. I'm giving myself a little time here to rest and to let the spine rotate. And then, of course, you could repeat this on the other side. So there's a lengthening in the center, and then I'm sliding my left arm under my right and turning my head. Coming back to center to lengthen. And then I would slide my hands underneath my shoulders and use them to help me come up to a seated position. Back on my heels if that's comfortable for your knees and ankles. So we've moved through the 7 movements of the spine, lengthening, we've flexed and extended, we've side bent to both directions, and we've also added a little bit of rotation. Again, this is Andrea Soos from Andrea Soos Yoga Studio.